The shoulder beneath the beam. The elder stood beneath the hall roof with one hand pressed against an oak beam. A long crack ran through the wood, dark as an old scar. Beside him, a young man held the lifting pole. "Push," said the elder. The young man set himself beneath the beam. The roof groaned overhead. Dust fell across his shoulders. "How long must I hold?" "Until the new post stands." The young man clenched his teeth. The elder began shaping the foot of a thick oak pillar. "I knew two men once," he said. "Both headed houses. Both liked the honor of the high seat." The knife bit into the pale wood. The first spoke often of fairness. Whenever a hard choice came, he gathered every voice beneath his roof and asked what would please them. The young man shifted beneath the beam. "What is wrong with hearing them?" "Nothing," the elder said. "A wise man hears his house." He cut another shaving free. "But this man did not listen in order to judge. He listened so he would not have to." When the grain stores thinned, his wife begged him not to reduce the meals. The children complained when he lengthened their work. His brother objected when he crossed the lower pasture before the rains. Closed the lower pasture before the rains. So he bent. The elder tested the base of the pillar. He gave each person the answer that hurt least. Then, when the stores emptied and the cattle sickened in the flooded field, he blamed the household for choosing poorly. The roof settled lower. The young man's arms trembled. "He still called himself head," the elder said, "but every burden passed through his hands and landed upon someone smaller." Across the valley lived a second man. He also heard his wife. He listened to the elders, watched the animals, studied the clouds, and let his children speak when they had something worth saying. But when the hearing was finished, he decided. Before the long rain, he ordered grain withheld from the brewing vat. His wives disliked the smaller feast. His sons cursed the labor when he made them raise the storehouse floor. He moved the herd from the green lower pasture to the stony ridge while the sun still shone. They thought him severe. The elder lifted the new pillar. He did not become angry because they disliked his judgment, nor did he surrender it to purchase their smiles. The young man's breath shortened beneath the weight. Did he know he was right? "No," the elder said, the pillar near the opening. "That is the loneliness of headship. A man must judge before consequence reveals the answer." The rains came. Water swallowed the lower fields and entered the first man's byre. His grain spoiled against the damp floor. The roof began to sag beneath the storm. Every voice in the house rose at once. The father shouted that no one had warned him strong enough. The elder's mouth tightened. He wanted final honor without final blame. Across the valley, the second man's household ate plain food beneath the dry roof. The cattle stood hungry, but living upon the ridge. The raised grain remained sound. His wives no longer complained about missing feasts. His sons understood why they had carried timber beneath the summer heat. They were safe because one man had been willing to bear their displeasure before they could understand his road. The elder nodded toward the cracked beam above them. A house cannot rest upon everyone at once. Weight seeks one line downward. He guided the oak pillar upright. "Now!" The young man pushed harder. The elder drove the post beneath the beam and stuck it into place with the back of his axe. The roof lifted. The weight left the young man's arm so suddenly he nearly fell. The elder steadied him. "There," he said. "That is authority." The young man rubbed his aching shoulders. "The post does nothing but stand." The elder struck the oak with his knuckles. "Nothing?" Above them rested rafters, thatch, winter stores, sleeping children, and every life sheltered by the hall. The pillar does not ask the roof whether it feels too firm. It does not bend because the rafters complained of its direction. It holds form because everything above it depends upon that refusal. The oak gave a low creak as the weight settled into it. The elder looked at the young man. A man's house may advise him. His wife may see dangers hidden from his sight. Elders may correct his ignorance, but the final heading cannot wander among them like an unwanted tool. He placed the young man's palm against the pillar. "It ends with him." The hall grew quiet around the new post. "If the children weaken, he answers. If the stores fail, he answers. If the boundary falls, the name is forgotten, or the blood loses road, he answers." The elder's voice hardened. "That is why he holds final authority, not because his shoulders never ache, nor because his judgment cannot fail." He pressed the young man's hand more firmly against the oak. "But because he's the last shoulder beneath the beam." Outside, wind moved through the trees. The roof answered with a deep groan, but the pillar did not shift. The elder gathered his tools. "Boys explain why the weight should belong elsewhere. Men set their feet." He glanced once towards the high seat at the end of the hall. "Never sit there merely because you desire obedience." Then he looked back at the oak. "Sit there when you are prepared for every consequence to come looking for you."